Hi everyone, today we have a new video review, and as you can see, this time we are going to talk about fresh release from Miniart. It's a 135 scale kit, and here we have PaK 40 in a late version. It's a German 7.5cm anti-tank gun, and here we have an interesting addition because we also get the elite artillery regiment crew in 135 scale, of course, so you get to build a, I would say, somewhat simple diorama, just add some base and you actually get a interesting scene with this anti-tank gun. And of course we have a commercial sample, so it means this kit number 35409, it's the final shape of this release, and you'll get exactly the same stuff as what you'll see in this video review. So first of all, the box art here shows these figurines and the gun itself. Here you can see comparison with my hand. Also here on the side you can see some safety devices and address of the manufacturer, and on the opposite side you can see 4 marking options which are included into this kit, but we will talk more about them when we will be checking the assembly manual. Here is what we have inside. So all frames are sealed into one plastic bag, and then we have assembly manual on the bottom, and I will need scissors in order to cut through it, and then we will gradually check what is actually inside. So just give me a moment. And I can see that there is this Miniart envelope as well, so it means we also get some PE parts, which might be handy in this scale. And I'm just opening this plastic bag. Maybe we'll actually start with this envelope because there should be quite a lot of bonuses. Well, actually 2 of them, but still interesting. So let's zoom in. And here you can see the first one. This is the unpainted P thread, and here we have, as I said, quite fine parts for the anti-tank gun, and of course in some cases you will have to use tweezers because otherwise it will be almost impossible to place this into the right spot, but I think it's doable with the sharp tweezers and maybe PE bender. Next we continue with the decals. So here you can see the decals mainly dedicated to the stencils which will be placed on the ammo rounds. So this is also a useful addition because in 135 scale again it will be visible, so that's why it's worth applying all of these symbols. Next we start with the first gray plastic sprue. Here I will zoom out a bit so that you can see what we actually have here. And you can see that here we have these armor shields and also this anti-recoil legs for this gun. And overall I can see that the molding quality looks nice, and I wonder if here we will also get 2 positions, because usually these guns from Miniart, they were supplied in let's say 2 options, so you could choose the transport position or the battle one. So here it will be interesting to see. I'm a bit confused because these 2 sprues were interconnected, but as you can see, these are 2 figurines, and the overall design is somewhat standard for such release from Miniart. And we have the separate legs, hands, and heads as well. Here you can see that there are no guiding elements whatsoever, so be careful while you will be joining those guys together, especially their body parts, because otherwise you might end up with not that natural looking result. Next we continue with another pair of the plastic sprues. These are already not interconnected, but we still have pretty much the same approach to the parts, as you can see, and overall I can see that the quality looks nice. It's just a matter of assembling them and maybe painting them properly. It might be worth also getting some reference materials so that you can understand how to paint them in the right way. Next we have a lot of pair sprues, surprisingly. So here we have the first one, a lot of small parts here. I guess they will be used for the main gun, but that's not all. We continue with this sprue, CD, and this one is dedicated to the road wheels, as you can see. Again, quite nice molding quality. Here I don't have any complaints. And next, just give me a second, I will try to rearrange the sprues here. So next we have also the tire walls or tires molded separately. We also have some features on them, which is a welcome thing in a 135 scale, so it's just a matter of assembling them and installing them together with the wheel rims. So I guess what we saw a few seconds earlier, it was the wheel rims only. Next we continue with the Pioneer tools and various handles. I know some modders actually replaced these plastic handles with a metal wire in order to replicate the bent surfaces, but this is already your decision whether you would like to go that far. In my opinion, even these plastic parts, they are quite okay. Next, we continue with the ammo shells. So here we have two versions. One is an empty shell and another one is the proper ammo round, so it will be up to you which one you will use, but it's really nice of Miniart that they actually include such thing into their kit. They do not skip on it and include only one version, they actually give you a choice. And next we have the various weapons here, and frankly speaking I wasn't expecting this here because well, we get the artillery crew and I'm not sure why they will need the weapons in order to be assembled together with this gun, but well, we will see. Next we continue with equipment. So this one is somewhat expected, and as you can see there is a lot of equipment. Obviously you will not use everything at once, so some of these parts will stay in your spare parts box, and this is a really useful thing, so always a welcome bonus, especially if you are building a lot of dioramas in 135 scale. Next we continue with the boxes for the ammo rounds. And I can see there is no wooden texture, but this is not difficult to replicate, and of course the weathering is also a good idea to replicate here, because these boxes were usually heavily beaten. And last but not the least is this large plastic sprue, so here I will zoom out a bit, and you can see that here we have, for example, this main barrel, we have also the muzzle brake in two versions, we also get some internal elements for the main gun breech, and everything looks good. And of course the one piece main barrel is a welcome thing, especially in 135 scale. I know some others would prefer to have the metal version, but it will also influence the final price of this kit, so I'm ready to accept the one piece plastic version here. And next we continue with the assembly manual. So this one is printed as a small cover printed brochure. We have first here two marking options. And I wonder how many in total will be, because on the box it was shown that there were 4 of them as far as I remember. We will see. So here you can see that we have the parts map. Assembly process starts from the, let's say, main bed of this main gun, and note that you also have to use, well, it's recommended to use the metal wire, so be sure to source the right one. As you can see, Miniart does not show the thickness of the wire, and this is not that cool. I'd rather have the thickness also included so that you can understand how thick it should be in order to replicate the real thing. Next we continue here with the assembly process, and I can see that we actually can copy the gun in the transport position or the combat position, so this is really cool. And here you can see the final steps, as well as the marking guide for those ammo rounds, and marking guide for the figurines, marking guide for the third marking option, and here is the marking guide for the fourth marking option. So overall we get a really good release in 135 scale. I think it might be an interesting build for diorama builders, and of course I will be happy to hear your opinion, so do not forget to write it here in the comment section below. And I will see you in the next video review as usual. Thank you for joining me today, and bye.